it's Kim again. So this will be video 16 of the Ghislaine Maxwell deposition. Virginia Giuffre sued Ghislaine for defamation, calling her a liar and all this other stuff. So she filed a lawsuit against her, and that's what they're going on about right now. But we're on page 396. Like I said, this is video 16. And so right here, we're going to start with this question. It says, what is your understanding of Jeffrey Epstein's non-prosecution agreement? I have no idea. Do you have an understanding of the co-conspirators listed in the non-prosecution agreement? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. I have no knowledge of his agreement, whatever that is. Do you know, you mentioned earlier today that Redacted was one of the listed co-conspirators. Do you know who the other co-conspirators are in the non-prosecution agreement? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. I do not know. What did Jeffrey Epstein tell you about the non-prosecution agreement? I don't think I've ever discussed it with him. How did you come to learn that Redacted was covered by the non-prosecution agreement? I believe I read it in the press. Did you have any discussions with Redacted about the non-prosecution agreement? I've not had any discussions with Redacted. When is the last time you spoke to Redacted? Maybe 2005, 2006, maybe. And same with Redacted. When is the last time you recall speaking with Redacted? Probably even more time before that. Maybe I've never had communications really with Redacted. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. I never had communications with her. You were working for Jeffrey at the same time Redacted was also working for Jeffrey. Isn't that correct? I didn't know what Redacted did for Jeffrey, so I don't characterize what her relationship or work or not was. And I was still helping him with his construction projects and the like, but I never crossed paths with Redacted. What did you think Redacted was doing for Jeffrey? I have no idea what Redacted was doing for Jeffrey. Did you observe Redacted in any of Jeffrey's houses while you were there? She was at the house on occasion. What would she be doing there? I have no idea. Do you know if she lived at his house? I have no idea. Did you ever go into a bedroom and see her belongings at one of the houses? Not that I recall, no. I'm going to mark this as Maxwell Exhibit 24. Maxwell Exhibit 24, email marked for identification. You can see at the top of the first page, which is GM0001. It's dated January 3rd, 2015, from you to the Redacted. Is that Redacted who we were referred to today? Yes. And can you tell me, it says, have some info, call me when you have a moment. What is redacted there? I don't recall, I'm sorry. Do you know why there's a redaction on this document? You would have to confer with my lawyers. What did you discuss on that call? I don't have any specific knowledge of that call. So the call is being made on Saturday, January 3rd, 2015. Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. The document states it's Saturday, January 3rd, 2015. You issued your press release on January 2nd, 2015. Were you discussing with Redacted the subject of Virginia Roberts during these calls? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. I don't know if I spoke to him. I would like you to turn to GM0002 and the bottom chain says Redacted. Saturday, January 3rd. To Redacted RE, and he says, let me know when we can talk. Got some specific questions to ask you about Virginia Roberts. Do you recall having a conversation with Redacted about Virginia Roberts in or around early January 2015? I don't know if we actually spoke. Did you ever speak to Redacted about Virginia Roberts after you issued your statement on January 2nd, 2015? I know that we did speak at some point, but I don't recollect when we spoke. What did you talk about? Just what a liar she is. What did he say to you? What a liar she is. Did he tell you why he thought she was a liar? I don't think he told me why she was a liar. The substance of everything that she said was a lie with regard to him. And I bet you this is Prince Andrew, just saying. Okay. What did you say to him? She's a liar. That was the whole conversation. It was you said to him, She's a liar, and he said to you she was a liar. And did you discuss any of the details about what those lies were? I don't recollect. Was that only one conversation you had? I don't recollect. I don't recollect actually the conversation, but other than in detail, other than we both said she was a liar. Do you regularly communicate with redacted? Prince Andrew? No, I don't know. It may be him. Anyway, Mr. Pagluca, objection to the form of foundation. What do you mean by regularly? Do you email with him once a month, once every 2 weeks, or text or call him? No, we're not in that type of regular touch. Do you travel with him regularly? I don't know. I've traveled with him. We have traveled together, but regularly is not a correct characterization. Do you travel with him more than once a year? There's no standard, there's no set pattern. The answer to that was no. Have you ever observed him with any underage, any women, female under the age of 18, interacting that's not a child or a family friend, interacting for the purposes of sexual relationship with that individual? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form and foundation. I've never seen redacted interact in any way of that nature. Have you ever gone to dinner with him with an individual under the age of 18 that's not a family member or friend of yours that is under the age of 18? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form and foundation. We've been to dinner all the time. I'm not sure who is at dinner with us. I cannot testify to that. Has he ever brought a female under the age that's not a relative of his? He has children. I said not relatives. I can't possibly testify to who he comes to dinner with. I couldn't or wouldn't recall. To your knowledge, has he ever had a relationship with any female under the age of 18 for purposes of a romantic relationship to your knowledge? I can't testify to redacted's relationship. You haven't observed that? No. Have you talked to redacted about coming to testify at trial in this case? No. When was the last time you communicated with redacted? 1994 or 1995? I believe earlier, did you say that when is the last time you've been to his home in redacted? I said you asked me if I stayed the night. I'm asking you a different question. When is the last time you've been to his home in redacted? Roughly the same time in the middle of the 90s, sometime mid 90s, not in the years 2000 to 2002, mid 90s. Have you ever communicated with any representative of redacted? I bet it's Prince Andrew. Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form and foundation. I mean, I've been to his in the mid 90s. I would have communicated with people who work for him. Have you communicated with redacted about this case? No. Have you ever seen a topless female at any of Jeffrey Epstein's properties? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form and foundation. You've asked this question, by the way, earlier on today. Again, I testify that there are people who, from time to time, in the privacy of a swimming pool, have maybe taken a bikini top off or something, but it's not common. And certainly, when I was at the house, I don't really recollect seeing that kind of activities. Have you ever smoked cigarettes? Yes. Have you ever smoked cigarettes with Virginia Roberts? I don't recall smoking cigarettes with Virginia Roberts. I'm marking this as Maxwell 25, Maxwell Exhibit 25, email marked for identification. I'm showing you what has been marked as Maxwell 25. This is an email dated January 11, 2015 at the top. Do you see that? That's from Jeffrey to you? And then below, there is an email from redacted to you and CCing redacted on January 11, 2015. Do you see that? It says, Dear Jelaine, as you know, I've been working behind the scenes, and this article comes from that. It helps, but doesn't answer the VR claims. I will get the criminal allegations out. This shows the MOS will print truth, not just a VR voice piece. You can only make the truth by making a statement. What did he mean when he said, I will get the criminal allegations out? What was he referring to? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form and foundation. I have no idea. Were there criminal allegations about Virginia that either your lawyer or redactor were leaking to the press? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form and foundation. I have no idea. Did you ask him what he meant when he said, I will get the criminal allegations out? I don't recollect the conversation. Did you direct him to leak to the press criminal allegations about Virginia Roberts? I already testified that I have no knowledge of what you're asking me. Were you copied on this email, correct? I was. Did Jeffrey Epstein assist in obtaining information about criminal allegations relating to Virginia Roberts? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the former foundation. I have no recollection. Did redacted assist in obtaining information regarding criminal allegations of Virginia Roberts? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the former foundation. I have no knowledge of that. Did you ever discuss that with redacted? Discuss what? Criminal allegations about Virginia Roberts. I don't believe I have. Have you ever discussed allegations relating to? Do you know if Jeffrey Epstein had any relationship with the U.S. government, either working for the CIA or the FBI in his lifetime? What? I know there's allegations of that. Okay, Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the former foundation. I have no knowledge of that. Do you know if Jeffrey Epstein has any friends that are in the CIA or FBI? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the former foundation. I have no idea. Are you aware of an investigation of Jeffrey Epstein in the early 80s relating to the SEC? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the former foundation. I have no knowledge of that. Are you aware that Jeffrey Epstein has told people that he worked for the government to recover stolen funds? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the former foundation. I don't recall conversations about that. Has he ever told you that he worked for the U.S. government? I don't recollect that. You don't recollect, or has he never told you that? I have no knowledge. I don't recollect him telling me he worked for the government. Does Jeffrey Epstein have any affiliation with the Israeli government? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the former foundation. I have no knowledge of that. Do you know if he ever performed any work for the Israeli government? I have no knowledge of that. Have you ever visited Israel with Jeffrey Epstein? I'm sorry, I don't recollect. You've seen the flight logs that I provided you today. Are there, during the time you worked for Jeffrey Epstein, were there times that you flew on commercial flights rather than Jeffrey Epstein's planes? Yes. How often did that occur? Decently. Were there other flights that you recall flying on with Jeffrey Epstein that were on flights that were where redacted was not the pilot? Redacted was not always the pilot. How many planes did Jeffrey Epstein have during the time you were with him? Objection to the former foundation, so you need to give me a date range. During the time period of 1992 through when you left your employment, which I think you said was in 2009. So in the 90s, he had one plane, and at some point in the 2000s, he had two planes, but I can't identify or can't testify to anything past 2002, 2003. What happened to his planes after that? Do you know what travel agency, if any, Jeffrey would use when he would send someone, for example, you or one of his other employees on a flight somewhere? Did he use a particular travel agency to make those arrangements? I don't recall. Were you ever responsible for making those arrangements for other individuals? I don't recall making flight arrangements. Was it a New York travel agent that you would use for those arrangements? Again, we're talking 16, 17, 18 years. I just don't recall anything to do with travel agents. Would Jeffrey Epstein ever fly, for example, redacted, on a commercial flight to meet you in New Mexico? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the former foundation. I can't testify to that. Do you recall a trip where you met redacted in New Mexico? No, I don't recall any specific trip, no. Why would you be sent to New Mexico? Is there a reason why you would go there in the course of the work you were doing for Jeffrey? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the former foundation. I was never sent. I had a job to do and I would have to go to New Mexico for work. Would redacted assist in that project? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the former foundation. No, the project was largely complete by the end. I don't remember the dates exactly, but it was largely complete by the 1990s to 2000s. Do you know why redacted will be going to New Mexico to meet you? Mr. Pagluca, objection to the formal foundation. I don't know. She worked for Jeffrey. Mr. Pagluca, I think we're out of time, counsel. Videographer, it's true. All right, I'm going to stop here because that's pretty good. Let's see. Let's finish this portion. Okay. So, Ms. McCauley, I will state for the record there were some questions today that remain unanswered because the witness has been instructed not to answer those questions, and we will be raising our objections with the court to be able to have those questions answered in the near future. Mr. Pagliuca, so we're clear, we're designating this entire deposition as confidential under the protective order that will cover the paralegal who's been present, as well as the court reporter and the videographer and all the lawyers in the room. The videographer, this concludes today's proceedings. We're off the record at 6:43 p.m. Time noted, 6:43 p.m. Okay, so then I'll start it back up. Oh, okay. So maybe we'll see. Let me look through here. This may actually be like nothing left. I hereby certify that the witness, Ghislaine Maxwell, is duly sworn by me, and that the deposition is a true record of the testimony given by the witness, Leslie Fagan. Okay, so let's see. Acknowledgement of the opponents. Okay, so that was not signed, but let's see. Page line change. I'm just going through to make sure we're not missing anything. Okay, so it gives you timestamps of when certain words and things were brought up. So yeah. Let's see. I'll put this. This will actually be in the description. So if you want to go back and look at this, I'm not too worried about that part because there's. Just keep going, going. I can't believe we finished this just about. That's cool. We're done. So we had what, 16 videos for this one? Let's see. Yeah, there's just words in there. I wonder if the word prince is actually redacted. Let's see here. Pagliuca, yep. Prince. Let's see. Because I saw some words that were actually redacted. It's kind of crazy. Persons. Well, let's see here. Primary. So probably Prince. Probably right there. Prince. So I'll bet that's what it is. That's how many times it was mentioned. Anyway. Keep going. Let's see how many times she said recollect. Recall. Recollect. Recollection. Look at that. Recall over here. Crazy. It's like they'll answer and they'll be like, I don't recall. I don't remember. It's like, yeah, right. You're just trying to avoid the questions and giving answers. What the hell you did, you old nasty self. Almost done. Yay. Okay, there's a bunch of numbers. Okay, yes, we finished it. The deposition for Ghislaine Maxwell in the Virginia Giuffre defamation case. We are done. Thank you. Anyway, I got some more stuff to record. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good one. Bye.